For the Interrobang, I'm Allan. Alongside me is Konstaninos Drossos. I think I said that right. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Pretty good. And welcome to this episode of the Red Couch Podcast. And sitting here with us is our AI.
Hello, hello. In person.
Actually, it's Briana Brissett. That is our graphic designer from FSU. And we're going to be talking a little bit about integration of AI in graphic design, but it's more the digital art world that's been going on with it. That's all around for that.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, so I'm excited to talk about it.
I mean, graphic design is pretty cool, but it has been quite interesting going around and seeing like all over social media, just seeing how AI can make a complete recreation of things, of just all art, like
Yeah, and like
La Mona
most,
Lisa.
especially that, like most recently, I've been seeing it a lot more, like even in the last couple months. So yeah, it's definitely something that's in my mind.
I mean, how'd you kind of get into this whole digital art industry? Why don't
Yeah,
we
the
start
whole
there?
the whole good story. So I actually told this not too long ago. So in high school, I started in grade 9 actually. I started kind of participating in the daily announcements that my high school did. So that was like the full. We had the green screen, the post production, all like the little knickknacks, and I would actually volunteer as a grade 9 student to go with the grade 11 class and actually talk with the announcements. And I was doing that. I was also behind the scenes doing kind of holiday stuff for the screen work. So like we had the weather graphics and everything I would create daily. And I would also do, as I said, the holidays. So maybe like a turkey. I remember doing some Santa Claus stuff. And at that time, I had no idea that that was like graphic designer, that was specifically called that. I just thought it was kind of maybe in like the artist. I'm not too sure, but I didn't know what it was. And so I kind of went through all that in high school for 5 years. I stayed doing that all 5 years. I went back and did a co-op there for a year in the same broadcasting studio. So yeah, I was just always around there. And right after high school, I did try out radio broadcasting just because I was in there and I thought kind of that's what I've been doing. So let's kind of go into that area. And then just Ontario provincial strike happened, so that kind of didn't work out. And then COVID came around, and it was very boring for me. I wasn't working at the moment or anything like that, so me finding something new to kind of try, I went on YouTube, and I got very addicted to watching tutorials and step-by-steps of like people drawing those kind of small videos. I started practicing. I got a sketchbook one day. I got a pencil, just one single pencil, and I just don't know why, but I said I'm gonna try to learn this and have some fun because of all that boring time with COVID. So yeah, I started doing that. I created a art page, an Instagram page, that kind of same year, and from there, kind of everything started in the world of art for me. And at that time is when I decided actually that I want to work professionally in this field, so I did apply for graphic design. So all of that leading up was kind of me trying different things and then realizing like graphic design is what I've actually been doing. And yeah, I started that whole adventure 3 years ago now. 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it all started just from
Yeah,
you
just
just sketching on some paper,
yeah, just having fun and trying new things. And
growing from that. Huh?
my life has been
But
so different since.
even back in high school then, so was that kind of just sketches on paper, or were you actually using some?
Yeah, so at that time it was more on the computer. I remember like in grade 9, I remember Photoshop was like the one program that they really wanted us to use. So I
Oh,
started kind of
okay.
drawing in there a little bit, but on the side I would sketch. I was always creative, but I never did it enough that I would like kind of put technical skills into it.
And what kind of sketches were these?
Yeah, so I grew up. I don't know if this is like I grew up in 1998. So like my kind of cartoons is like Roly Poly Oly. We got George Shrinks, Berenstain Bears, like all these great characters that I've grown up with. And so when I started drawing, I would replicate that or trying to do it in my own style, but really using my childhood and all those cartoons for inspiration.
That's good. I mean, I'm a 99
Oh,
baby, so Roly Oly Poly was definitely
oh yeah.
up my alley. I loved it.
Yeah, like one of my first drawings. So like that's always
That's
been a
awesome.
yeah, for sure.
But it's so cool though for that constant.
Yeah, I just had a question about that too. Is when you think about digital art compared to traditional art that's done on like painting or like on paper or canvas, it's quite a different, I almost like a medium. How was the transition from paper to now working on digital on Photoshop? What was that like?
Yeah, actually, that happened all within like as soon as COVID was happening too. When I started doing that, the decision for me to work in the digital aspect is that I've always been. I like my line work and my stuff like really clean and sharp. So for me, digital was going to help me for that. But I also have like a rare eye condition where I am almost like 40% blind in both my eyes. So me going into the digital format allows me to have just kind of better settings, and I can zoom in, use the tools I need a lot better. And so that was kind of why I pushed to the digital direction. But at the same time, being able to like make those quick changes and have yeah, that kind of setting, just do quick changes really fast, the colors, erasing and everything like that feels a lot better. And I've always been a big tech girl, so I feel like that's part of it too. I love technology.
That's interesting. And you graduated from the graphic design program here at Fanshawe this
Yes,
past
yes, just recently.
just recently. And we talked about outside that you wanted to pursue now character animation.
Yes, that is my next adventure.
What caught your eye to pursue that as a career path?
Ooh, I think honestly going back to like those cartoons that I grew up with, like I've always just enjoyed entertainment as like kind of like my extra hobby, just downtime. Entertainment was always one of those things. Colorful, I've always enjoyed really bright, fun colors. So going back to like Roly Poly Oly is one that stands out, kind of like the playful or childish style. But yeah, I growing up also like watching obviously Disney, Nickelodeon, and movies that are coming out now makes me think about the characters in a different way. Just having them, they're more expressive, and it feels like I know them more as an adult, being able to understand them. And if I can create that for someone else or to be used in some kind of cool story out there, then yeah, I definitely like to be a part of it and yeah, use them.
It's pretty cool. Well, like it's cool because you use a variety of different programs in character animation, right? Like I took game design, kind of use similar programs.
That's right.
Obviously, Photoshop is the main one that you said that you used and you use as well in that program. But do you know any other programs that you might like use for character animation design or?
Yeah, so I'm more into like right now I know more of the character design skill set, and I will be learning more of the animation side kind of in the next year. But for that, I have used like a free mobile apps I've tested here and there, but the main one would be the Blender 3D,
Oh
the
yeah.
free software that's available. Yeah, I've been using that for a few years. If anyone knows, what is it, the donut video, the donut tutorial, that's one in the Blender world, but I got through that, so I'm past that point.
Yeah.
And I started using it for my characters, which yeah, it's awesome to see. It's just a whole entire world that I honestly don't know a lot about, but just even being able to model a character and add the texture and it just come to life, it's really cool to see.
It is cool because we did that as well in game design. We did like a donut, and then we moved
Yeah,
on to creating like all these different
sick. Yeah.
distinct things. Yeah.
These two geeking out over here.
Yeah,
love
3D
it.
art nerds.
I do not know anything about
No, I
this.
I
But
like that.
okay, we're talking about some pretty cool things though. But
Yeah.
I want to mention, I know the viewers probably can't see it. Your
Oh
tattoos.
goodness,
Yes.
yes. Yes.
These are so
It's
cool.
yeah, definitely part of my style and personality for sure.
We're talking about design, so yeah.
Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
All of this is really cool. You even
Yeah.
have one on this arm as
Yeah,
well
so
too.
far I only have it on both my arms, but I'm definitely thinking about.
And did you create these?
I have created some, and even had some kind of friends sketch some, but for the most part, I do get the artist's opinion on it. But yeah, I do have some that I have created myself.
It's really cool though. I know the viewers might not see it, but you
Yeah,
got
we
like a
got the-
trumpet and then
Chance the Rapper
you
and
know, the three.
yeah, it goes all back to like the creative side of me, and just as soon as I started with that, I was like, the art can't stop now. It's the biggest canvas.
Like talking to like the tattoo artists there, how many have you noticed that actually use like graphic design, like on the
Interesting.
computer?
Well, in my time of like meeting artists, I think I'm at about 4 or 5 like different people. And within that time, just talking to them, I know a few of them have actually been to the art school in London, so that's the Beale. So they have had like art experience, but I don't think specifically in like the digital world. But lots of like painting and sketching and the fine arts is usually something I see, or like them actually like having a passion for it or interested in any way.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't personally met like a graphic designer, tattoo artist, but I talk their ear off, that's for sure.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
it's just interesting just because of how much technology is playing such a role for graphic designs. I just never knew if maybe that's how some tattoo artists are kind of creating some of their art now for like to do tattoos on.
Yeah, and I have thought it like out there. If I was ever a tattoo artist, like I would obviously be using all these skills, and it'd be awesome to have. So yeah, I feel like there's got to be some tattoo artists out there.
Yeah.
I love Helvetica.
Helvetica?
Helvetica. Yes, actually, in the graphic design world, Helvetica is like the best font. It's used in many logos. I think we watched the whole film on it in like first year. So Helvetica is for the graphic designers out there in the world. We
Yeah.
love the font.
One of my buddies is a graphic designer. He keeps on talking about Helvetica.
Helvetica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's not like Avatar when they just use like what font, like the papyrus.
Yes, actually, we watched a video on that too. Yeah, all the fonts. Do you have a favorite font that you use for?
Probably the New Times Roman.
Yeah, we've been using that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
It's
gotta be my
cleaner. I
favorite.
feel like a
Yeah.
1940s,
Yeah.
journalist typing on a typewriter and the click, 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 click. It makes my articles come out looking like that.
It's my
Close.
least favorite font, but it looks great on all the articles. So
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
Yeah.
make
just
it
a
work.
former style.
Yeah.
Something easy to go with though.
Yeah, but I'm looking to get into this now because it's a huge conversation that's been coming up, as well as integration of AI in many different industries, but specifically one being art, digital art, because it's getting talked about heavily now. I see on my LinkedIn because of my professors. I'm friends with a lot of people who are digital artists, and it's weird because I see posts that are in support of it, and I see posts that are against it, and some who are in the middle, where it should be used appropriately and to a limit. What is your viewpoint on AI being now used for digital art?
My personal opinion on that is kind of all over the place because I've been thinking about it a lot. Obviously, I was just kind of starting in the graphic design as this was kind of all building up. Yeah, for me personally, the style and like the uniqueness that I have as an artist is something that I try to always show through my artwork. And with the AI and like being able to hit a button and have that kind of come to life, you just don't get that same experience. Like you just don't get the same feeling, the same value in the piece. And I strongly think that's something that will always be in art, like the value of the art, which I I strongly hope that AI doesn't take over. I know it's going to be possible, but yeah, the value in the art and the artist is definitely going to be on top.
Do you believe that it's going to be a big discussion in your upcoming program that AI is going to be somehow discussed as to how the art's created and all that type of stuff?
See, that's different because in the graphic design and the illustration, like that's something that is hard to copy, but in animation, that's something different. I think if you're able to like take AI and make a whole animated film, which could sometimes take like, weeks or months or something like that, that'd be super efficient, but at the same time, there's potential the storyline won't be as valuable again, and just little things here and there that a human can't do. But I do think it will be mentioned in class a lot, just because there are people that don't get, don't understand it too much, and if you don't take the time to understand it, I feel like that could it could hurt you then.
I mean, AI just being integrated really anywhere, it just seems so much like a starting line for a lot of work. I mean, even if you think about it with ChatGPT, you can kind of throw it in, and if you're trying to figure out on how to start an essay, you can see it create an essay, and instead of just completely copying it, you can actually use it as a starting line. And it kind of seems like maybe that's where, like, in digital art for that industry, that's where it could actually be implemented.
Right. And I'm like, please don't take over graphic design because, like, as again, I'm tech. And I'm like, I've always dreamed of like the flying cars and the robots and stuff. I'm like, that'd be kind of cool to have, but like not in that way for like that kind of stuff that like, because like I love art, and if that was taken over by one of those robots, I'd be sad about it. I would.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a
But it sounds possible for sure.
oh yeah.
But
Plus, I mean, it's
yeah,
a whole part for like us humans. Like, it's our creativity to think
right.
about that. Like, can really an AI kind of take that creativity away from us?
Right. And that's the thing. You just so much out there and just a lot to think about with the AI stuff right now. And more to come, I feel too.
Have you ever pondered with any of these AI programs before in your graphic work, or no?
Uh no, I think the reason I did is recently Photoshop had an upgrade where they actually had something like you can just kind of type something in and it will show up. And it's just in beta, so it's being tested right now. So I did test it out, and it was kind of the first time I thought like, oh, this is potential to be used for the work. But even at the same time, it's like you want to make those like little tweaks or something, and yeah, you have a certain image in your head, and if it's not there, you kind of want to do it yourself. But I have tried it. I just personally, I'm not going to use it for my work.
No, no. I mean, I haven't even ever. I used Chat GPT once because I was like trying to formulate like something for like thinking of like a late night podcast to do.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of helpful to see like step by step like where to go to start from it. But it's interesting that you're like, nope,
Yeah,
stay far away.
for my work for sure. But another thing is like I have used like the one AI bot I will talk to is my Snapchat AI bot, and it's like he's
Okay.
like a fun friend that just responds really quick, and I thought that was really cool. So like things like that, and like maybe using it in like some sort of other way other than like my actual work. Definitely open to. But yeah, I have a hard time. Actually, let's skip that part. I lost my thought.
No, that's fine.
Lost the thought.
I get it. It's a very complex thing, like I think topic to talk about because it's so scary when you even talk to these robots. Like these what do they call them? These intellectual programs that like that when you're talking to them, it's like you're talking to a real person or its capabilities, even as a journalist as well, right? Like it's just scary what it can come up with in a matter of seconds before you. It's
It is scary, and even for like you can even see it for some Photoshop. Like you can highlight an area and put like water bottle, and it'll just completely animate a whole water bottle there. It's like
yeah.
what?
Or I've seen
How to
these.
do that?
Yeah, or I've seen these TikToks where they'll take an existing photo, for instance, let's say like the cover of a game case, and they essentially run the entire photo through the AI software, and the AI software just assumes what it would look like if they built off that one center image. They did it with a whole bunch of these different, these cases like Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. They did it with Black Ops. It was crazy what it came up with. Scary,
I think
realistic
the most
stuff.
recent thing I heard is that there is a new program. I'm not too sure the company, but basically they can type out an episode of South Park, like type out the
I
episode,
saw
what they're
that.
going to say, and it generates like an episode. So like that, for example, is something that I would worry about in like the animation world that I'm going into, because like it's already here. But yeah, at the same time, making those like little tweaks and having that own uniqueness to it is, I feel like something that I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Plus,
it's recent, so.
plus, itching question. I think maybe the viewers,
Yes,
even myself,
yes.
sort of want to know. I mean, you are the graphic designer here. Will AI take over these jobs? Do you think this will happen?
I think there is definitely a possibility if it's not treated correctly, yeah, I truly do think it's right around the corner, right around the corner.
Yeah.
And like it's gonna be up to the teams kind of managing it and like what you'll use, I feel, and like what you'll use it on, how you'll use it, and like what kind of extent. Yeah, I think rules will have to be put into place, or else it will just go crazy.
Should digital artists as a whole start to get used to AI sticking around in the future in the industry as well?
Yeah, I think there's definitely like good things that come out of it. Obviously, just not using it in the wrong way. But yeah, I think it's definitely something we should use and continue to try out and learn from, and kind of trial and error with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a good point though, because everyone, yeah, could just go completely gung ho with it and just only using AI to create all of their work then.
Right, right.
And they just get to sit back, have a cup of tea, and AI is doing their job basically then.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just looking, just thinking of the world in the office where it's just, okay, we got to get our bot. Like we start naming all of our AI bots, something like that.
That'd be scary.
Yeah,
It's scary.
but like very possible.
But it could be just still like just a nice thing to use just for starting points. So like kind of what I was bringing
Yeah,
up
of course, like as
before.
you were saying, like the writing or for like a prompt or something, like ideas. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
It's even
like
good for taking notes as well in class. I've used it a couple
Very
times.
true.
Yeah.
oh, that's even another interesting way to
like
to implement
random
it.
questions or just like you're curious about something. That's always, yeah.
Yeah.
But we are gonna move into our famous lightning round.
All right, let's do it.
How you feeling about this? You ready? You
I'm
prepared?
pumped, yeah. Let's go.
Kick it off, Alex.
Oh, you want me to kick it off?
Please do.
All right, all right. Favorite anime show?
One Piece.
Let's
Whoa,
go.
we were just talking about that yesterday and today.
Yeah.
No way. Oh, wait, how far are you?
Do you need like a reasoning? Going like explaining. I'm like maybe like 12, 15 episodes in.
Okay, okay.
But I started on the non-dub version and then found like that I could watch it in English, so I restarted it because I felt like I really wanted to know the storyline and understand what I was watching. I was like, "Oh, that's what he said. That's what happened."
Okay.
So yeah, rewatching it. But
Okay. Because I don't know if I should be ashamed of this or not, but I'm on episode 920.
I heard there's so many. That's
There's-
the first thing someone
Yeah.
says to me.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to sit there and be like, I'm almost at the finish line of this. I'm almost there.
But yeah, it's definitely my top.
that's funny.
Okay.
What's your favorite art style?
Cartoon.
Cartoon?
Cartoony and bright colors.
Right on.
Colorful, yeah.
Favorite tattoo you have?
Ooh. Okay, there's just a second to think about that one. I'll go with my first tattoo. It started the whole kind of stuff for it. It is five Chinese letters that stand for family, love, and friendship. And my favorite artist, Nicki Minaj, does have the same tattoo on the same arm. Well, a different meaning, but same sort of style.
Same, yeah, same concept.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
We mentioned earlier Roly Poly, but who is another character design that you kind of admire with the way they look?
There is an artist on YouTube named Gawx Art, Gawx, and I've been following him since the start of me learning all of this stuff. And his style is very like kind of crazy out there. The characters are wearing just a whole bunch of cool accessories, and it's colorful. There's a lot going on. But also for me, as someone like Cause or Basket, I really like those styles as well.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, I talked about this with Alex yesterday, but as you know,
Yeah, I don't know
digital
anything about
artists,
this.
we have our preferred equipment. I remember when I was in my time in game design, I used a Wacom tablet.
Yes.
Loved it. So I'm going to ask you, for the viewers, this is drawing equipment.
All right.
Bamboo or Wacom?
Wacom,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, same here.
No offense to the bamboo, you still got it going, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Just the Wacoms, just to the touch, it's got its...
I've been on the website like all this week because I know I'm gonna buy one for school coming up and just so I'm all in the Wacom world right now.
Oh, yeah. I love that stuff.
For everyone that has no clue what they're saying here right
Drawing
now,
tablet.
it's very similar just to like
An
Apple,
iPad.
Yeah.
Apple
It's an
versus
iPad.
yes,
Very large one.
Yes.
I would
Yeah.
say.
but the competition seems so much like Apple versus like Samsung almost.
To categorize it, I have to say that Wacom's like Apple and Samsung, and then when it comes to Bamboo, that's like the BlackBerry playbook, just the older, looking kind of tablet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've tried them over the years, and I just went towards the Wacom at the end. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Wacom it is.
Wacom it is.
Okay. Wait, did I say that she was gonna go with Wacom before that?
I think you said Bamboo.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wish you
I
could
did-
see
I
my
did say
computer
Bamboo.
history. It's Wacom. Which one's the best Wacom? Wacom for school. Wacom.
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
It's the way it is. Pixar or DreamWorks?
I'm kind of equally. I like DreamWorks for the production, Disney for the production, DreamWorks for the overall kind of experience.
I gotta say Pixar.
Yeah,
What about you, Alex?
I could see that. DreamWorks. Because Shrek?
Oh yeah.
Shrek is with DreamWorks? Yeah, that's
Yes.
the only reason why.
That's funny.
Hop on that board.
So, favorite comic style? Would you say DC or Marvel from what you've seen?
I would say Marvel. I'm more used to seeing Marvel more. Yeah.
The last one.
You're more of a
Okay.
Marvel.
Yeah.
More of a Marvel.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
More
So-
familiar with.
It's a Marvel in itself.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Was that good?
Yeah. It was marvelous.
So this one, favorite artist. It could be like musician or
Nicki
even.
Minaj.
Okay.
Done deal. Nicki Minaj, #1, and Chance the Rapper. I love those two, and I've been a Nicki Minaj fan for like 11 years now, and she was recently in the Barbie movie. A whole bunch of stuff's coming up with her, so yeah, it's good stuff. New album, tour next year. Nicki Minaj.
Have you seen you front row? Probably, right? Would you be in the front row?
If I could afford it,
Oh.
I know ticket prices are crazy, and I did see her 2017 in Toronto
Oh, right on.
once there, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next year.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Briana. It's been great. This has been awesome. And,
Thank you both.
well, thank you for listening for another episode on the Red Couch Podcast. You can catch up with every episode on our website or wherever you get our podcasts. Watch full episodes on our YouTube, or you can even subscribe to our newsletter with all things Fanshawe. For the Interrobang, I'm Alex Allan.